Hello Yellow class, welcome to Monday. I hope you've all heard the great news that you could come in on that last Monday and Tuesday, and I look forward to seeing you all. I hope you're excited. I know that I'm excited. So just going to run through the home learning for Monday to tell you what I'd like you to do. So today I'd like you to look at the ch phoneme, making that ch sound. Sometimes it makes other sounds, but today I'd like you to look at it making the ch sound, like in the word chip or church. And again, Mrs. Welling has put on Spelling Shed some activities for you. She tells me that you're using them. I know we use them in class. Thank you to those people who emailed me because they couldn't either remember their login or they wanted to check what it was. As I've said to them, it's best going on through a Google search, looking for Spelling Shed and then logging on through that so that you can actually access the games. If you just go in through the app, it doesn't work quite as you want it to. Guided reading, so do some one-to-one reading, and then you're thinking about select and retrieve. So that means, can you find the right piece of information that answers this question? And the question is, can you name the? So it's finding the name of a character or for an item. Practice doing some counting ones, twos, fives and tens. Make sure you count all the way up. Today we are thinking about fractions. Now in year 2, the fractions that we learn the fraction, this one here, which is a half, and you have to look at this, so you've got the denominator, and you have to think that you have split that whole cake into 2 pieces. That's a half. So the number at the bottom tells you what to split it into. The number at the top tells you how many of those pieces you want. So in year 2, we look at the fraction a half. We then also look at quarters, which does tie in again to telling the time. So we have got 1 quarter, and we've split that cake into 4 pieces. That's one of those. We also look at 2 quarters. Now 2 quarters, we would actually call that a half. They are the same, but you can have 2 quarters and 3 quarters. So when you split something into 4 pieces and you are looking at 3 of them. We also look at thirds, so when you've got a cake and you've cut it into 3 pieces, you can have 1/3 and you can also have 2/3. What I'd like you to do today is to draw some shapes and find fractions of those shapes. And when you've done that, shade in parts of them and label them correctly. So if we have a look here, if I was going to find a quarter of this square, I would draw 2 lines across, if it will let me, there we go. And then if I wanted to draw 1 quarter, I shade in 1 quarter and I'm going to label it with 1 quarter. I might find a half of a shape, or I might not find half of that one because I can actually do thirds with that one. So with my triangle, I can find a half of that triangle and I'm going to shade in and label it with 1/2. Now I left the circle because that's one that I can do into thirds. You have to be a bit careful with thirds. They can be a bit funny. I tend to come to there. Oh no, it won't let me stop, sorry. Oh, I'm not sure this is quite thirds. It's the best I'm going to be able to manage. I'm sorry everybody. I'd have to use some other things to help me to do that exactly. So a third. And then also we can do quarters of this shape over here, of the hexagon. So I can come down and I can shade 3 quarters of that hexagon. So I can shade 3 quarters and I can write 3 quarters on there. Right, so looking at fractions. Today, the story that we're reading, another one that I have recorded, it is Captain Flynn and the Pirate Dinosaurs. This one is called Smuggler's Bay. So watch the story, and today what I would like you to think about is what would you have said if you had met the pirate dinosaurs? So if you met those pirate dinosaurs, what might you have said? How would you feel? Think about how you might feel. Now, if you're feeling excited, some of the things that you might say, you might be feeling happy to see them. If you were scared, obviously you would be saying some things to express how you were feeling and that you were feeling scared. Handwriting today, writing some ch words. So we can write chip. So we've got the ch, We've got church, so we've got a ch at the beginning and at the end. We could also have lunch with that ch at the end, and crunch with that ch at the end. So our history, this is the last session of our history. What I'd like you to think about, have a look on the internet, an image of Nelson's Column. So Nelson's Column is a statue in London in Trafalgar Square. So lots of things matching up there. Trafalgar Square, the Battle of Trafalgar, and Nelson was obviously the leader of the Navy at that time. Have a look at Nelson's Column. Then what I want you to do today is, through all the things that you have learned about Nelson, today I'd like you to have a go. You haven't got to make this, so parents don't panic. I just want you to draw a design of a memorial that you would make for Nelson to commemorate the things that he did. Think about what information you'd want to put on that memorial, the things that you think are important, and how you would display that in some sort of memorial. So that's what I want you to do. You haven't got to make this. This is just a designing program, a designing task, and getting you to think about the key facts that you've remembered about Nelson. So drawing that image, and then again, make sure you keep physical and that you're doing something. Get out for a walk, go for a bike ride, do some of those New Forest school sports challenges, and send me in those scores if you get to do them. So have a great Monday, and I will see you all tomorrow. Take care for now. Bye.